Welcome to Module 18 in the Fundamentals of Digital Marketing Certification. So let's get started. Module 18, advertise on other websites. Okay, so this lesson is about what is display advertising. Okay, you know those adverts you see all over the internet? Some are banners while others are text-based or use videos. This is called display advertising, and we are going to explore what it is, how it works, and how it can help you attract more customers. Think of display advertising as a digital version of a billboard, print ad, or TV ad you see offline. Businesses pay whoever owns the ad space, hoping to get their ad seen by the right kinds of people and then turn those people into customers. We all know display ads and we see them every day. If you go to sites, for example, if you're a football fan and you go to check football score on a site like maybe flashscore.com, you'll see site adverts of NairaBet, SportyBet, and all those other betting companies. You are not there because of them, but what they are doing is related to what those sites do. That's why they advertise on them. All those types of advertising where you advertise on a site that is doing something related to your type of business, it's called display advertising. That's how Linda Ikeji makes her billions. Okay, people go to her site to read news, all those trending matters, and a lot of companies advertise on her site. People don't go to those sites to watch adverts. They go there to read news or things that they're interested in, and they see ads. That's all those ads are called display ads, and that's what we are looking into. Okay, display advertising gives businesses the chance to pay for their ads to appear when the right kind of people is on the right kind of page. There are lots of ways to do this. You can make deals directly with the owners of a site, or you can use networks that match businesses with lots of different businesses that have ad space to sell. You can decide to show your ads on specific web pages or to specific groups of people or even both. So let's imagine you are passionate about film. So you've created a podcast where you do film reviews. Now you want to market it. Think about the people who might be interested in a film review podcast and what else they might be looking at online, like cinema websites, official movie sites, or film forums. The pages where your customers are is also where you should be. Of course, where your customers won't always be looking at websites about film. With display advertising, you can still get your ads in front of them when they are browsing other things. So you can target people with specific interests like film while they are checking the weather, reading the news, visiting blogs, and browsing around all the other kinds of websites they might want to visit, even if those sites have nothing to do with film. So display advertising offers businesses the ability to reach relevant audiences all across the internet. That's actually quite amazing. And it's one reason why display advertising is a great way to build awareness of you and your business. For example, if you've just created your film review podcast, you'll need to make people aware that your new product exists. With display adverts, you can get noticed by just the people you want to reach. But display advertising isn't only about getting your name out there. Display is also a great way to drive traffic to your site, build engagement with your visitors, and win new customers. How? Well, you might choose to show adverts to people who have visited your website but have not yet subscribed to your podcast. So as they browse the news, check the weather, or watch videos, your display advertising can remind them to subscribe with a special incentive or promotion customized for them. This is called retargeting, and we'll cover this in more detail later. Let's recap a bit. We know now that display advertising lets you be right where your customers are and supports many different marketing goals. Next, we will explore how display differs from search advertising and how the different elements of a display campaign work. Then we'll move on to talk about ways to find your ideal audience using different targeting options. Finally, we will learn a bit about how to use retargeting to reach people after they have already interacted with you. So I hope you are ready. It's time to explore the exciting world of display advertising. Check your knowledge. Colin has been running a film review website for his podcast for the past 2 years. He would like to start advertising a site to increase the number of subscribers. To do that, he wants to contact some media owners. Who do you think Colin should contact? Okay. Ready to delve into the two most popular ways to advertise online? These are search engine marketing and display advertising. And while both can really help your business, they are also pretty different. Let's look at how both kinds of ads work, where they show up and what they look like so you can know how to best use them. Okay, imagine you've just seen the latest James Bond film and are feeling inspired to listen to some film critic. You open up a search engine and type in film review podcast. What does this say about you? Well, we can see that you know what you want and what you're actively looking for, and that you're actively looking for it. With search engine marketing, advertisers use this insight to reach potential customers as they are actively looking for something. So people tell search engines what they want online, and advertisers bid for their ads to show up in response to the words and phrases people search for. For example, a person who is actively using a search engine to find podcasts about film reviews is almost definitely a potential customer, and this is the perfect time to tell them about your podcast. Display advertising works differently. The person it targets isn't necessarily searching for business like yours or showing interest in the products or services that you offer. The offline world equivalent might be billboards or magazine adverts. Perhaps people didn't actively seek out your product or service, but you can choose where your billboards are located or the right publications to place your adverts in, which can help you get in front of the right kinds of people who might have an interest in your business. In the online world of display advertising, that means finding websites where your potential customers are likely to be spending time, or targeting people who have showed specific interest through the sites they visit or other online behaviors. In our podcast example, your ideal customer is probably reading blogs about films or looking up local cinema listings. So those could be the places to show them your billboard online. Here's another difference between search and display where the ads show up. Let's say someone searches for film review podcast and your ad appears, but they don't click it. Maybe they clicked on one of the other results instead. With search engine marketing, your ad can only show up when people are searching. So when they've left the search engine and are browsing around the web, you can't reach them with search engine marketing. But with display advertising, your ads can show up on any website that's offering advertising space, and it means that you can tap into millions of additional websites beyond search engines. There's one last difference between search and display: the ads themselves. The ads on search engine are usually just made up of text. There's typically some kind of a headline, some descriptive text, a link you can click, and maybe a few other things, like an address or phone number, depending on what options the search engine offers. Display advertising, on the other hand, gives advertisers a lot more creative options, different sizes and formats, images, videos, and more. This means there are a lot more opportunities to get a potential customer's attention. So now you can see how search and display advertising differ, but hopefully you are also getting a sense of how this can work together. Grabbing someone's attention with a dazzling display ad is a great way to get on their radar. Later on, when they are looking to act or make a purchase, they are likely to head to a search engine. If your ads then appear on their search, they might recognize you and go for the click. To sum it up, search and display advertising can both attract new customers just in different ways. Knowing how they work, where ads can be shown, and what ad formats are available can help you get the right message in front of the right people, no matter where they are online. Check your knowledge for lesson 2. To maximize the hits on a site, Colin wants to target two different audiences using both display ads and search advertising. His two target audiences include cinema goers and home movie watchers. Which type of approach would work for each audience? For cinema goers, next lesson. I would advise you always read why these are the correct answers so that you have a deeper insight into this before you write the final exam, even though many of all these have already been explained in their write-up. The fundamentals exam is very important because this course gives you a full idea of everything about digital marketing. So by the time you go into the practical things, you already have a good idea of what you're actually doing. Okay, it's time to cover the different components that make display advertising work, including how you find and target the right audience, how you build your adverts, and how you organize your campaigns. First, you're probably going to be using a display advertising network that is a system that lets you advertise on many different websites to help you build and run your display campaigns, and almost all of them will allow you to decide where your adverts will show up and who will see them. Like all digital advertising, display advertising platforms offer many targeting options. You can limit your ads to people who speak certain languages or to certain days or times. You can even combine multiple things together. For example, you can target local people heading out on their morning commute by choosing to advertise to English speakers who are using smartphones within 20 miles of your shop in the morning. But there are many more. So let's take a look at some targeting options that are unique to display adverts. For example, you can really zero in on where you want to be advertising by defining specific websites, individual pages on those sites, and even specific areas on those individual pages that you want your ads to appear on. These are known as a placement. The idea here is that if you know the kinds of sites your target audience is likely to be visiting, you can get your ads in front of them by targeting the exact placements you want. Or you can aim for a broader audience. If we take our example of a film review podcast, you could decide to show your adverts on any website that fits into general high-level topics like cinema or arts instead of targeting specific sites. You can even target specific groups of people and even the things they do online regardless of the sites they are browsing. Depending upon what options your ad network offers, you might be able to target by gender or age group or by very specific locations, such as people who are located on a university campus. You can even target people who have demonstrated an interest in film based on the kinds of websites they have visited in the past. Finding the right audience to target is essential, but your display campaign also needs actual adverts to show them. With display advertising, you have lots of options for what form they might take or how they can look. There are banner adverts in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and video adverts that can use motion and sound to show what's going on behind the scenes of your podcast. There's no reason why you can't use many different kinds of adverts. In fact, you'll be maximizing all the potential places where your adverts might appear. Just remember, you will want to match the content with the audience you are targeting. So now you're probably seeing how to accomplish your different advertising goals using many different combinations of audiences and adverts. And you're probably also realizing just how important it is to keep things organized. That's why nearly all display advertising solutions allow you to keep things under control by creating and managing what are known as campaigns. You could have one display campaign aimed at indie film firms with adverts featuring your interviews with up and coming directors. At the same time, another campaign could be dedicated to everyday moviegoers. These adverts might take cinema sites or might target cinema sites or film review sites. They could run on specific days of the week, like Fridays and Saturdays, when people are going out to the movies. The message could be different as well, perhaps suggesting people to decide which films to watch this weekend. Display advertising can be used to target very specific audiences and even multiple audiences at the same time, depending on the message you want to send. Thinking about who you want to reach and what you want to tell them will not only keep your campaigns organized, it will also help you figure out the message, the tone, and the style your display advertising should take. Understanding how these things work together will help you match the right message with the right people, and you'll be well on your way. Colin's favorite director has launched a new film. Colin has written a review and wants to use it to bring in visitors with a digital campaign. Considering he has a limited budget, which of the website pages would not be ideal for his digital ads? Okay, let's go. Let's write a topic assessment for Module 18. If you own a film blog, which type of customer can you expect to reach with display advertising? The ads on search engines are usually made up of text. When using search engine marketing, where can your ads appear? When setting up display advertising campaigns, who can you target? Okay, there's something wrong. Okay, through with that. Okay, so we are through with module 18. We see you again in the next module.